Welcome back in, everyone. Eric here with another EWE Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about Last of Us Episode 5. But before we get into that, just our normal rigmarole. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you guys thought about the episodes in the comments below. Also, please let me know what you guys want me to review. I have a couple of requests that are coming in soon that I need to actually film. But other than that, things are going great, guys. Keep supporting the channel. Alright, let's start off with... Oh, actually, before I get to that, remember, these episodes will have spoilers, but I will cue you when I will be talking to spoilers. The first half of the episode is just my spoiler-free thoughts. My second half is the plot with some spoilers, and we'll go from there. But again, guys, sorry for a small delay. I'm putting this out midday Saturday instead of Saturday morning. I just got busy with some other stuff Friday night, and Saturday morning went to the gym, so didn't get everything done on time. But don't worry, this will be out, and then I'll have another... I'll talk about this at the... Actually, no, I'll talk about it now. Please watch out for my review for the first episode of Velma. I don't think I've ever hated a show more than I hated that one. Alright, so let's get started with some of the data for this episode. So let's start off with the name. The name of the episode is Endure and Survive. It was released on February 10th, 2023, with a runtime of 59 minutes, so longer than the last episode, but shorter than episode 3. The cast for this is still, main will always be Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. We still have Melanie Lynskey again as Kathleen. And today, at the end of the last episode, we finally saw Sam and Henry, and those are played by Lamar Johnson and Kayvon Montrell. Sorry if I mispronounced that name. So, basic plot of this episode. So if you saw episode 4, you know, okay, now we're coming into Sam and Henry, and the whole idea now is that they all want to get out of Kansas City because the city has been taken over by a militia. So that's the basic plot of this episode. They're just trying to get out and see where things go from there. While the militia's still trying to hunt them down because Henry did some shit that they're not happy about. And we do find out about Henry's motivations of why he did things in this episode. And you can kind of tell like the show's trying to build to a choice later in the season. Alright, so my basic thoughts on this, spoiler free, is I thought this was a really good episode. They found ways to make you feel emotion because Sam and Henry are basically another version of Joel and Ellie, just except it's brothers. Just two people trying to survive in this world when this world is just so chaotic. And although like not all of their decisions are pure-hearted, it's just like you can tell they're doing it from a place of good, like they're just trying to stay together and things like that. So you feel for the brothers. This episode does do some stuff where I was just like, oh wow, I was not expecting that. And they also do, like I said before in episode 4 to me felt like a two-parter. This was definitely the second part. You can basically think of it as one giant episode because it was a two-parter and it worked great. I thought the acting was amazing. The emotion you feel, I can admit right now, I teared up a little bit at the end. But yeah, this was just such a great episode. It was just like, you're just like, okay, how are they going to do this? How are they going to do that? And it's like, oh, you're tugging at my heartstrings. And it's just like, come on, see what's going to happen. It's like, oh man. The setting's done really well. During the daytime, things seem calmer, but then when you get into night, it's like, oh, what's going to happen? We're at night. It's just good visualizations. I thought the way they set everything up was really good. Yeah, I can't praise this episode enough. So going now to my score, this one I'm going to give a 10 out of 10. I thought this was a masterpiece. It had everything in the episode that I wanted from Last of Us. This felt like something that was a true rendition of the game. Like, oh, this is something that if you played the game, you'd feel this. And you know the emotion that came along with all of this. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm giving it a masterpiece. My first 10 out of 10. Is this my first 10 out of 10? It might be my first 10 out of 10. So yeah, to me, this was a masterpiece. So I highly recommend you guys watch this. The one thing is, you should watch episode 4. If you just watch episode 5 without watching the rest of it, it's not going to make as much sense. But so yeah, watch the ones beforehand, and then this one makes perfect sense. I 100% recommend this. This is such a great episode. It has everything you want in it. It even has action. So yeah. So those are my thoughts, guys. Before I forget, for those of you that aren't going to keep going to watch the spoiler section, please like and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below what you thought about this episode. And once you guys have finished watching the episode and you want to see my spoiler section, please come back and watch that. Alright, so now let's go on to my spoiler section. So here's your warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright guys, welcome into the spoiler section of the episode, and holy shit, we got a bloater. We got a fucking bloater. Sorry for cursing, but oh my god, I've been waiting for when we were gonna get the bloater. For anyone that played the game, they knew originally the bloater showed up in the game in, well, I'm not sure if they showed up before that, but around the Bill section had the bloater. So I thought in that episode we might get one, but since they changed things around, we didn't get that there, but we did get it here, and I thought it worked great. To me, it's like, okay, I completely made sense why you didn't use it there. It had so much more impact seeing it for the first time in this episode. So let's just start off with this episode and how it goes. This episode doesn't actually start off where the last one ended. We actually get some backstory to Sam and Henry, and we actually found out like Kathleen and her group ended up taking control of the city. So when we actually see them in the episode 4, see everyone there, they've only taken the city over for a couple days at this point. It's not even they've had it for a long time. They've just beaten Fedra, Kathleen's group. Henry was an informant. I think they call them collaborators. And we actually do find his reasoning for why he was a collaborator. And you kind of go, shit, he was in between a rock and a hard place. I can't... They're trying to tie this in for stuff that's going to happen later in the show. I'm not going to say what, but it seems like they're tying things in. And they're trying to make you see, like, some people are just going to make decisions that just... They feel harsh, but it's like, are they the good guy? Are they the bad guy for making a decision like that? Because, like, for Henry, it's like, he did it for his brother. And yeah, he gave the Fedra the location of Kathleen's brother. I'm blanking on his name right now. Sorry about that, Mark. I'm not sure. But yeah, that ends up happening. So at the beginning of the episode, they're trying to find the new militia's trying to find Henry and Sam because they want to kill him. And you can just tell Sam's just trying to get his brother out. He's just trying to be a good big brother. And you feel for him. So they eventually do hide out. They're with the doctor that you actually see in the first, in episode 4. The guy that Kathleen got, that you actually see him early. It's like, okay, this is where he came from. And he actually knows where they're hiding. He won't give up their location. So going on from there, eventually Sam and Henry, they're hiding out somewhere. They're kind of safe, but they're going to run out of food eventually. So they end up leaving that location. And they do end up seeing, Henry does end up seeing Joel and Ellie get into their fight. And Henry then realizes that their best shot of getting out of the city is with Joel and Ellie, because they can actually fight. Sam hasn't really used a gun or anything like that. He's more of a pacifist. So it's like, if they're going to get out and they know they might have to fight infected, he's their best bet to doing it. So we eventually get to Sam and Henry ambush Joel and Ellie with no intention to kill them, but they know, hey, if we want to get out of here, we're going to need to work together. And they end up making this partnership. It seems at the beginning it was just going to be a temporary partnership, and we'll go from there. But then they actually had to figure out how to get out, and the answer is to use the tunnels. There's no subway or anything like that for Kansas City, but there are tunnels. The one thing is that all the infected were driven down in the tunnels. However, Henry had found out that the Fedra had actually killed all the infected that were in the tunnels of the city. Not the ones outside the city, but the ones that are inside the city, Henry knows they're empty. So they end up going there. And there's some very sweet moments. You can actually see that Sam and Ellie are getting this bond as friends. The difference here, I think in the show, in the game, I don't think Sam was deaf. Here they made him deaf. So you'd always communicate, like a lot of times using this toy. I'll put a picture of it where it's like you can write on it, so Sam can still like write and things like that. So that's how you communicate. You can use sign language. But with someone like Ellie who can't do sign language, they were using this little pad to be able to talk to each other. And it was really sweet seeing like, oh, Ellie's being a kid. She's hanging out with this other kid as well. And like you get this emotion. It's like, oh man, they're becoming friends. Like even in this apocalypse, people can still be friends. Like kids, they're innocent. They still have it. So that was great. So eventually they end up resting in this one area that has a bunch of like toys and stuff, and like Sam's enjoying, he's having fun, so is Ellie, and eventually they do have to leave. And when they're getting out, and sorry if I'm speeding through the episode, I have somewhere I have to get to soon, so I need to make sure I get this episode out. So when they get out, Sam is kind of like, why aren't we using flashlights or anything like that? And Joel says, like, we can't use them. We're still in enemy territory. We got to be careful and we got to be quiet. But they kept talking, and their talking eventually led to a sniper shooting at them. And when the sniper shoots at them, at first you're just thinking, okay, they just got to kill the sniper or whatever. It doesn't really come into my mind at first, like, oh, this is one of the malicious people. So eventually Joel does some trickery. He's like, the guy doesn't have great aim. So he's like, I think I can get around. So he does get around and he kills the guy. He didn't want to. And you can even see Joel's like, just give me the gun. I don't want to have to kill you. I don't want it to kill you. And the guy just wouldn't stop and Joel had to kill him. And it's one of those things where, like, you can kind of see Joel's trying to be a good person, but sometimes it's like this world just brings the worst out of you. When Joel does eventually get the gun, he realizes that the sniper, had contacted Kathleen and they were on their way. Next thing you know, you hear Joel telling them, run, 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 and Kathleen's group's almost right there. They use what looks like a snowplower to try and move the cars out of the way. So they have a main car that has a snowplower, and it's just trying to get through everything out of the way. And it's trying to kill, it's almost going to run over Ellie, and luckily Joel just gets a great shot in, and he's able to kill the driver. And that runs into a house, fire starts, and things happen there. So that's going on. Keep in mind that the fire's still happening. We're going to come back to it in a second. So now we eventually get to, like, Ellie, Sam, and Henry are behind a car. Kathleen's calling out for them. And then Henry is saying, hey, I'll come out, but let my brother go. And Kathleen's just ruthless. She's just like, no. She just wants blood. Everything that she does is just, I want vengeance. Which I get it, but it's like, she doesn't even care anymore of who she hurts. She doesn't seem to care about what happens to the people that she just liberated. She just wants to kill. I actually forgot to mention earlier in the episode, they found some other collaborators, and they just had them all executed. Kathleen just wants revenge. She's just a person that cares about revenge. And her militia group, the soldiers are with her 100%. They're in for this carnage. So when it looks like Kathleen's about to kill Henry, remember that truck I said was still on fire? It starts going down, 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 down. And it's like, oh shit, something's about to happen. A bunch of infected come out of the ground. And I mean a ton of them. It's like, this group is fucked. And then just start putting Rampage in. And then out of nowhere, a bloater also comes out. And it's just like, you see the bloater, and it's just like, this thing is huge. It's like, it looks way bigger than it looked in the video game. And you're just like, they are screwed. That thing is going to kill them. And it's just awesome to watch. It's just like, this is the action scene that everyone's been waiting for, and we get it. And it's insane. Ellie tries to get away. She goes into a truck, and then eventually a clicker follows her. A child clicker. Seeing a child clicker is creepy as hell. I was just like, oh my god, this thing's gonna kill her. This thing's gonna kill her. Luckily, she's able to get away. And she's trying to help Sam and Henry, and eventually she is able to help Sam and Henry get out of it with the help of Joel. And Ellie even does the whole thing of having a knife and knifing a clicker in the neck and the head. Oh, that was awesome to see, because that's something from the video games. Like, so anyone that played that was just like, yeah, this is for us. So that was awesome. Moving on from there, we then see Kathleen tries now to kill Henry again. Luckily for us, that child clicker comes back and actually kills Kathleen. And it's just like, yes, fuck that bitch, she's dead. So that was really cool. We move on from there, and now they've gotten away, and it's like, okay, the calm before the storm. Like, everything's good, everything's good. And it seems like the teams are gonna, like, go together. It seems like Sam and Henry are gonna join Joel and Ellie their trip to go find Tommy. And it's just like, oh man, look, we've made friends. And then you see, we cut to Ellie and Sam. And Sam then asks a really crazy question to Ellie. Is it still you inside? When inside one of those monsters? And you find out that Sam was actually scratched by one of them. I'm not sure if it was scratched or bit, whatever. And you can just see Ellie being like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And this is new. This is a difference from the game. In the game, it wasn't like, I'm pretty sure no one knew Sam was even infected. So then we come to this version, and Ellie's trying, I think she even cuts herself to try and put her own blood on Sam to see maybe if that would cure him, hoping for the best. But sadly, the next morning they wake up and Sam's turned. and he's attacking Ellie. They jump into the room that has Joel and Henry, and Henry has to shoot Sam, and he kills him. And this is just such a heartbreaking scene. And it doesn't even end there, because, I mean, Sam did all of this. I mean, Henry did all of this for Sam. It was all for his brother. He could betrayed all these people, started this whole uprising, and then what was it worth in the end if his brother just got infected? And Henry then just shoots himself. And it's just like, holy crap. So first just seeing Ellie trying everything she can to save him beforehand, and then the end result, it's heartbreaking. Like, something good was finally coming out of all of this, and it's ruined in an instant. Oh man, I had a hard time. I cried. I was just like, oh man, that was more powerful than I thought it was gonna be. And then we move on from there, and then Joel ends up burying both bodies. And you think, okay, they've tugged at my heartstring, like they're just gonna leave. On Sam's grave, Ellie puts his favorite toy, the one that he's been writing things on, and she writes, "I'm sorry," and leaves it there. And I lost it. I was just like, that's too much. I was like, oh man, because that's not how they did it in the game. And it's just like, it was so much impactful doing it this way. And I was just like, that's great. To me, that I wasn't sure if I was gonna go 9 or 10 for like the longest in this episode. And then that final part, I was just like, this is a 10. This is a 10. It's just amazing. It had everything you wanted. So that's my rating on the guys. That's my review. Please let me know your thoughts on it. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. But wow, that was great. Soon I'll have the Velma episode out soon. And I'm also going to be reviewing Magic Mike: The Last Dance. And that's actually what I'm trying to leave early so I can go watch that movie right now. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.